X27A, it is Hayden Williams. Hayden, welcome to the Pits FM, mate. How are you?
Hey, Jason. Thanks for having me. Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Oh, a bit chilly. I'm sure it's much the same up in the big smoke of Auckland, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty chilly, but nothing like you'd have down in Chicago, mate.
Oh, mate, I tell you, she's not very warm at all, I think my nipples are inverted. That's another story. Let's not go there, eh? Okay, so obviously one of the standout drivers for me last season when I was commentating on Western Springs was yourself, and I wanted an opportunity to catch up with you, Hayden, and have a bit of a talk to you about where it is you've come from, basically, what it is you're doing and what it is you're going to be doing in the future. So let's have a wee bit of a chat about how you first got involved in Speedway. Did you start off in karts and come through, or how did it all start for you?
Pretty much at the age of 5 years old, back in 1996, I started racing ATVs, a little 50cc quad. And the first 2 years I raced those, I won 2 New Zealand championships from my age group. And that's where it all started. Dad pretty much got me riding on a little quad on the beach when I was 4. And then when I was 5, got racing underway, and then raced quads till I was about 11 years old before I moved into the quarter midgets at Western Springs.
Mm-hmm. So obviously you're pretty talented with that type of racing. So the quarter midgets at Western Springs, bit of a difference for you, different type of track, all that sort of stuff. How did you adapt to that?
Yeah, obviously going from jumps and bumps to racing one way around a dirt oval was a little bit of a challenge, but we made sure we had a few practice runs. We went to Rosebank Road a few times, and it's a great little learning environment there. On the solo track, we got loose sort of type gravel surface to run on there. It definitely helps. It definitely helps breed a lot of good drivers coming through. Obviously with the likes of Brad Mose and Michael Pickens and all those guys that have come through quarters, and definitely Rosebank Road I've turned a lot of laps around there in a quarter midget, and it certainly helped my career going forward. Heading into Western Springs onto the faster track, obviously, and obviously in between the quarter midget racing, I did a lot of go-karting too in the off season, to help keep me race fit during the winter. So it was a pretty busy period, but we did a lot of racing. We went down to the South Island, raced at Nelson and Ruapuna in the quarter midget, and had a lot of fun. Raced that for about 3 years, and it was awesome.
So, obviously, was your family involved in Speedway or any of that type of stuff before you got into your own style of Speedway?
Yeah, Dad, obviously, he raced, go-karts back in the early 90s, and then also raced TQs and outlaw TQs with swings in the late 80s. So, sort of, obviously been in the family with Dad running it, and Dad used to crew on couple of teachers, and Bruce McDonald and Damien McDonald. He was their crew chief and run the team. So from a wee age, from about sort of 2-3 years old, I was brought up around Speedway and at the racetrack.
I suppose you probably would have learned a bit of set-up abilities and all that sort of stuff with hanging out with your dad, I'd imagine, as well.
Yeah, obviously I've done a lot of work in TQs. Obviously spent 7 years in the midgets now, and also did a season crewing on Jamie McDonald's sprint car in between my quarter midget and TQ career gap that I had to wait before I was obviously old enough to get into the TQ. So I've been around and done a lot on a few different cars, which is helps understand how the cars work and that and when I'm driving.
Okay, so success in the quarter midgets, was it quite regularly?
Yeah, we were constantly from second half of the first season, we're constantly, up in the top half of the group. And my first season, we had the likes of, Brad Mosen back then, Shane Van Gisbergen, a lot of, big names there, Connor Boys. It was quite a busy period for quarter midgets with, usually about 25 to 30 cars on one night at Western Springs, and made for pretty good racing. And it probably that close racing is probably what started helping me get to where I am today.
Okay, so you had that wee bit of a break. How long was that break for before you were able to go into the TQs?
I had 1 year break. Obviously, I was a little bit too big for the quarter, and with the age of the way they work, not being able to race a TQ till you're 16, but I managed to get dispensation at the age of 15 to run a TQ, and so I had a year year off, and I crewed Damien McDonald's swim car for that year, and that was a lot of fun.
Okay, so racing in the TQ, with the other car, the quarter midget and stuff, was it your own cars, or were you driving for people at a young age?
No, Dad. We bought a car. Dad managed to buy a car, and he did everything he could to get me into a reasonably competitive package. And so we bought a car, and then we ended up putting a new chassis around it, and worked out of our garage at home, and with the help of Tim Clark and what was then Brecker Team Mount Racing, we built a new Brecker chassis with an awesome package and awesome motor, and which was capable of winning races. And obviously in my first season I did really well and had probably one of my best seasons to date in my speedway career.
Okay, so the going with the TQ side of things, how long did you race in that for before you jumped into a midget?
I ran TQs for 3 years. The first 2 years I was, ran two full seasons, and the third season we just sort of picked and choose our meetings. So at that point we were, trying to work out whether we could save up. Dad could help. We could all save up to run a midget ourselves, and we spoke with a few people. And that third season, but nothing came about. And obviously, Bill Jeff picked me up. But yeah, I ran 3 years in the TQs, podiums in North Islands and GPs a few times, and didn't get that NZ1, but I got a second place in the New Zealand title in my third season, and it ended up being my last season in the TQ before I jumped into the midget.
Okay, so you never really got a chance to go advance any further. I'm not in there long enough to be able to maybe a bit more of an assault on the 1NZ.
Yeah, I had a couple of, like I have in the midgets, had a really couple of close calls, and we had good speed in the first 2 seasons, and just couldn't quite pull it off with bad luck or whatever. And then my third season, we had the New Zealand title at Western Springs, and I was always fast, and we had a really good car to win, and we unfortunately just came up, a few metres short there to Shane O'Connor, but it was still really a lot of fun, and I enjoyed every aspect of TQ racing. It was so competitive, and for what they are, they go pretty quick around the track.
Isn't it a piss off though that you go and you every race meeting or New Zealand Championships is decided on one night and one night only? You don't really. It all sort of comes down to that one night, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the cream is usually always going to rise to the top, but these one-night deals are proven to be sometimes can be a bit of a lottery. Obviously Michael's won a lot of New Zealand titles, and he's done really well at some, and then other nights he's been on pace and on form, like myself and a few others, and then either mechanical drama or something happening, you're not in the race. So definitely prefer the format of running maybe a title or a championship over a few different nights like they do in America. With USAC, they run the USAC United States Championship over a whole season, which obviously you've got to be fast and consistent at the same time.
I think, to be fair, Hayden, every sport does it except for Speedway, that they run it over a series, every motorsport especially, which is a bit of a shame. It would be quite good to be able to, perhaps hold it over a season, and whoever's got or accumulates the most points becomes the New Zealand champ for that season, But anyway, that's another story. Okay, so raced the TQ, jumped into a midget. Now, you said car owner picked you up. How did that all come about? Did he just give you a call and say, do you want to come and race for me?
I was fortunate enough that obviously Jeff was keeping a close eye on a few of the younger guys that were coming through at the time, and with a few chats and a few phone calls and a few sponsorship deals, we managed to put a package together, and I was fortunate enough that Jeff took me on, and I was young back then. I was only around 17, 18 years old, so it was a big risk for Jeff to take, and one that I'm very grateful for. And we came up some sponsorship, to obviously help the deal and help it all go through, and that it all took off from there. And had a relatively quiet first season. Just sort of got into the swing of things and learnt the ropes and the race. It was a lot different to driving a TQ, where TQ you've got to drive the car quite straight and be quite decisive. the midget cars, you train them around a bit more and, driving them a little bit different. So it was, it was an awesome first year, and I guess the last 7 years with Jeff, it's been a good experience.
So you've been with them for how long? 7 years, 8 years?
I believe seven seasons. Last year, 7 full seasons. Actually, to be honest, Jason, you've got me here. I'm pretty sure it was eight years, to be fair. I mean, I remember starting in 08, 09, 2009, 2010, and where we say, so the 8 seasons of Jeff I did. And, I had a few good seasons, really good seasons, a few up and down seasons, and all in all, I had, really good results over my career with Jeff.
Of course, you had a 2NZ, I think, somewhere on the line there too with Jeff, didn't you?
I got third place in the New Zealand title at Western Springs a few years back. To start from the back with a few earlier issues that went on, but I have got one podium place in the New Zealand title. But that's one thing that eluded me in my midget career so far, is that that 1NZ has come close. The last 2 years, really close. The last 2 years, and unfortunately things prevented that from happening, which is motorsport. But I'll keep pushing on, and it's my goal to get a 1NZ in the midget career before I do anything else. So I'll be pushing for that.
Nelson was terrible to watch, to be fair. I watched it a couple of times, and you come so damn close to getting a 3NZ and pipped on the line. That must have been quite disheartening, especially you showed some incredible car speed and held Michael Pickens at bay for quite some time, and obviously a couple of mistakes there cost.
Yeah, I knew we had to. Obviously, Michael was having a ripper of a season, and they had that package with Justin Inslee and Team at Racing sold in every track and every race that we went to. So we knew we had to pull something out of the hat to at least try and compete with Michael that weekend. And I felt we had we just did what we could to get through during the night, and had good solid heat, and proved we had pretty good car speed to be up the front. And after making a few changes in the dash, which didn't work, we went back and I managed to. It was one I really wanted to win, and I knew we had a good shot, so I put everything into it, and obviously the yellows didn't help us, and then ultimately a red light where we lost a bit of pressure, or something went wrong, or something happened with the right red tyre, whether it sealed over or not, I'm not too sure, but the car just wasn't the same after the last red light, and I pushed it the same as what I was for the first half of the race, and just didn't do what I wanted to do, and made a few small mistakes, which didn't help, and that let Michael get by, and then ultimately finishing fourth was a bit of a bummer against Pitt with bench at the end, but hey, it was still a good meeting all around, and we've proven that we've had the speed to win and be up front.
I know there's no two ways about that. I mean, it was a fantastic run for you for most of for the 2 days you're at Nelson, and it was just a bit of a shame that it just sort of couldn't sort of finish off on a bit of a high note, because obviously now that you've moved away from Jeff, and so what's happened there, and what's sort of in the pipeline for you?
Well, Jeff obviously gave me an awesome opportunity, and probably a long time to be with a car, and most guys these days sort of chop and change and driving for different guys every sort of season or 2 seasons. So we both me and Jeff have got on really well, and we're still good mates now. We just been 8 years with Jeff, and it just sort of, I guess what you could say is just run its course, and I wanted a new challenge and to try and maybe have a new package and have another shot at getting a title, and that we tried so much, and me and Jeff, we tried everything we could, and we just came up short. So and obviously me leaving too leaves a bit of a hole for another young guy to come through, which I think Jeff taking on this season. So that's another awesome thing that's happened, and Jeff's been really good with taking on young guys and giving them rides. It helps sort of grow the sport, and it can only be a good thing. And obviously, I haven't got anything. I've had a few things that I've been working on that have sort of fallen through. But I'll keep trying and try to find some sponsors and some try and find a package to get going, even if it's only a selected small season this year before finding something full time next year. We'll see what happens, but I'm hoping to still pick up a full time ride this season.
Has it been promising for you though, Hayden? Like, has there been a wee bit of inquiry about it, maybe?
To be fair, obviously it's tough because there's a lot of teams that have either downgraded their operations or are running Americans or that sort of thing, and a lot of people, and with SEMA closing down and a lot of other teams sort of just a lot of teams have obviously spent quite a lot of money in the last few years, so it is a thing to try and find a position available, and I've had a few talks with a few different people, and things haven't quite come to we haven't quite come to an agreement with anything. So no, I'm still trying, and I want to be in a competitive package where I know I can win races. So I just want to sort of I've been racing for 8 years now, and want to make sure that I've got the car that I know I can go out and win races week in, week out.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you just If I was saying to you, what's the biggest asset you could offer somebody in relation to your abilities? What would you say to me to sell you to me?
It's about everything. It's obviously bringing sponsorships is a big thing, which can easily be sorted and easily done. But another thing where you don't know what goes on in teams and what drivers do, but a big thing about running with HLR was we put us as drivers, we put a lot of work in, a lot of effort in during the week. It's a massive commitment, obviously, to run a season, and it takes up a lot of your time, and I'm fully committed to doing whatever it takes to run up the front and to be involved in a good team. So I just gotta keep an ear out and keep trying to get people involved and stuff like that. But obviously I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to be in a team that can run up the front, and that's what I've always told myself to do, is just you got to put in a lot of effort and time and show your keenness, and it makes the car and I feel appreciated, I guess.
Absolutely. HLR would be just about one of the biggest speedway teams in New Zealand, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to Jeff. He runs a big operation and runs a lot of cars and F2s, helping grow the F2 class and running young guys. So, it's a big team and big opportunity, but I guess what I'm looking for now is something that's just a little bit smaller, more
one-on-one.
On one or two drivers instead of a big team like what Jeff runs.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Definitely the next level for you. A couple of questions. We've got a chat room. That was one of them, actually. That's why I asked that question. A couple of questions that have popped up on our chat room whilst we've been talking away. Can you ask Hayden how important personal fitness is in relation to being successful in a midget car?
Yeah, fitness is a big thing. Obviously, the last 3 years, I've put a lot into my fitness and a lot of getting fit, and not just for the long races, but just in general. When you're physically fit, you're mentally fit too, and it makes you think a lot better and a lot clearer on the track, and it makes you make the same decisions you would at the start of the race as you would at the end of the race. So it's definitely a massive thing, and definitely a massive improvement for me over the last 3 years. Upping my fitness regime and training 5-6 times a week. Getting into the swing of things, it definitely helps on the racetrack, and I think my results over the last 3 years have proven that.
Yes, absolutely, and I know that when I caught up with you at a conference, you spoke very highly of fitness and bits and pieces, and how important it is, to you and stuff, and that's probably why I'm mental, because I'm fat. Okay, so that's next question we had on our chat room is, how big a percentage of midget drivers own their own cars?
To be fair, there's probably, out of all the top of the line guys, there's not a lot of guys that own their own cars. I mean, it's quite an expensive, obviously, operation to run, where to build a car from scratch is roughly between $90,000 and $100,000. So quite a big investment, and then roughly around, probably most teams budget off around big teams budget of around 40 to 60 grand for the season. So to be fair, a lot of midget guys probably don't own their own cars, and probably that's the reason why. But obviously, the guys further down the field, they would own their own cars, and they do it, and it's a credit to them too. They put a lot of time and effort as well to get cars on the track, and without those guys, we wouldn't have a full contingent of cars. So credit's got to go to them too.
It amazed me, actually, Hayden, when I commentated last year at Western Springs, that you take a walk in the pits and it didn't matter whether it was midgets or sprint cars. It's quite unique to find someone, really, that actually does own their own car and race their own car, isn't it? So it's quite amazing. I've never seen it before. So, I mean, everybody in the South Island, probably just about every other track in New Zealand, clearly they own and race their own cars. So it's quite unique in that sense, and it really does give it the professionalism at Western Springs, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty professional sport. Obviously, not quite up there as going over to the likes of America and that, but for what we do down in New Zealand and in Australia, we run as good a gear as anyone else in the world. So it's a testament to the guys and the teams involved in the open wheel racing in New Zealand and Speedway. You walk down pit lane, you see the sprint cars, even the TQs now. Everyone presents themselves well and puts awesome cars on the track and attracting good sponsors. So it's the professionalism of open wheel racing and even Speedway in general in New Zealand has definitely gone upward leaps and bounds in the past sort of 4 to 5 years.
Definitely has, and of course trips to Australia and stuff like that to race obviously have come to a bit of an end for you until you figure out or sort out your new driver. Probably something you'll miss though, is it?
No, hopefully I still have been in touch with a couple of car owners in Australia. Obviously Colin and Jason Bell, I run for him last year, and we're looking at trying to maybe put some racing together or do something during the next season. But obviously trying to organise something for New Zealand is my main commitment, and to try and do that. But if I can pluck 4 or 5 meetings on off nights, off weeks from back home, then I'll try to head over to Australia as much as possible. It's awesome racing over there as well, and the more you race, to be fair, like what's proven with Michael, running sprint car and the midget to both nights, and the guys up in the States doing sort of double duty and that. The more you race, the better you are, and the more competitive you're going to be. So I'll try and get as many races in as possible.
That's, something that somebody's just said, actually, which is something I was going to say, and that was, maybe if somebody come up and said to you in Australia, hey, you come and race for us for the season, is that something that you would do? Would you drop tools here to go there?
Well, it's probably, it obviously depends on, if I didn't pick up anything here, then obviously it'd be an option for me, but the racing in Western Springs is second to none, and it's the most competitive anywhere. You race at Western Springs and you can win a feature at Western Springs, you can do well anywhere else around the world. But obviously it is an option for me, but I'd like to stay racing in New Zealand, as the competitiveness is just second to none, and obviously going to Parramatta and the likes of Brisbane, running against those Aussies is pretty competitive. But I guess the competitive base is Western Springs. You've probably got 10 to 12 really quick guys that can win races. Whereas Australia, you've probably only got about 6 to 8 sort of guys. So the competitiveness in Western Springs is definitely what brings everyone to Western Springs and what makes all the internationals want to come down over Christmas.
Well, we just had Greg Mosen on the line before you, and it's pretty much what he said as well. And we both agreed that Western Springs is definitely the mecca, I suppose, so to say. In some cases, probably one of the best in the world. When it comes to that, and the American drivers and all those sorts of guys that come and race want to be there racing, because it's an atmosphere like no other, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's second to none, mate, and it's a hard one to describe, but you've got the empty style type sort of stadium, and it's obviously been around for a long time. It's got a lot of history. There's always massive crowds. You can almost just about hear them yelling and screaming. When you go around for that final lap when you're winning, and the reception you get after the race, no matter what driver wins or places, you get out there in the infield, and it's there's no better feeling really.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got to draw the interview to an end, unfortunately. It's been good talking to you, Hayden. Thanks very much for taking the time out to talk to us. But obviously over the period of time you've had some fantastic sponsors and perhaps some people look after you. Opportunity's yours to thank all those people now.
Yeah, obviously, first I'd like to thank Jeff Harper for everything he's done for me, and getting to where I am today. Without likes of him and guys like that, that give young kids opportunities like myself to run midget cars at a very high level is just awesome, and I can't thank Jeff and Suzanne enough for everything they've done for me. Big raps to my dad. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting there talking to you, Jason. So he's the one that got me started in my career, and hopefully I can get back out there and carry on and do him proud. And I also got a lot of awesome supporters out there that hopefully I can get out there and put on a show. Century Batteries has been a long time supporter of mine, and we're hoping to sort of maybe continue something on with them. So we'll see what the future brings, and hopefully I can go out there and give these sponsors and these supporters of mine something to cheer about.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you will, and we know that a bit of a late start to your off-season as well in relation to try and get a ride because your dad was quite ill. Is he okay now?
Yeah, Dad's doing really well now, and that's what sort of hold on things for me. But hey, it's that's just a small bump in the road. The most important thing was getting Dad on the recovery and getting better, and he's doing extremely well now. So even back at work, so that was a bit of a scare for us all. But it's good to see him back and recovering well. He's my biggest supporter, so it'd be good to see him. It's definitely good to see him. Be good to have him trackside again.
Family's the most important thing, isn't it? Okay, Hayden, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us once again, and we look forward to any exciting news. Give us a text, and we'd be more than happy to have you on. You can tell us all about it, eh?
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it, mate.
Okay, man. Cheers. Bob for now.